Hey guys, Crafter for BFNations here, and today we're gonna take a look at the brand new game mode coming to Battlefield 5, or should I say, with Battlefield 5, called Grand Operations. If you played Battlefield 1, and I think it's quite safe to assume that all of you guys watching this video did, you know that with this title, DICE introduced a brand new game mode called Operations. It wasn't present in the previous Battlefield games. It was a new idea from DICE, and as it quickly turned out, it became one of the most popular game modes in the game. Even though it's not available on all maps, players still want to play it. Now with Battlefield 5, operations are evolving, and as I've already mentioned, those will be called Grand Operations. Basically, they will be divided in a couple of days, and each day, obviously in-game day, we're not gonna sit 24 hours to play through one day, that's probably obvious, but whatever. And each of those days will be in fact a different game mode. All of them will be combined into one mode called the Grand Operations, but each day will offer something completely different. And that's how those days go with the game modes. At day number 1 is called Airborne. This time, you will have to jump out of the aircraft and drop on the enemy's ground to destroy their objectives. Obviously, when you are attacking. If you're defending, you're sitting on the ground and basically making sure your objectives don't get destroyed. At day number 2 is called Breakthrough. This time, you will have to cap flags one by one and push enemies back to their base. I guess it works similarly to the Breakthrough game mode that we have in Battlefield 1 Incursions, which is basically a scaled down version of Operations game mode, except that this one has only one flag at the time. There is no multiple flags, you only got one and you have to push your enemies back. Day number 3 is a classic Conquest Assault game mode that we know from Battlefield 1, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3. Not sure if the game mode was present in Hardline, but certainly it was present in all of the previous Battlefield titles. We all know how this one works, but in case we have someone new to Battlefield series watching the video, welcome to Battlefield, here is the short version of it. Attackers start in their base. Defenders don't have a base, but they have all of the flags capped and they can spawn on all of them. Attackers start with a slight ticket advantage to compensate for the fact that they don't own any of the flags at the start of the round. Then it works just like a classic conquest. They have to take flags from defenders and score points. The tricky part about this game mode is that defenders don't have their main base, which means that if attackers manage to capture all of the flags and hold them, defenders will only be able to spawn on their squad mates. And that means that if they manage to kill everyone on the battlefield and no more players can spawn, the round will end, resulting in the win for the attackers. It's quite an interesting mechanic, although it does not happen that often. And moving on to the last game mode, or the day number 4, that being Final Stand. If the previous rounds resulted in a draw, or it was very close to it, you will get to play day 4. And what exactly is this Final Stand? It doesn't say much. Well, actually it does. Final Stand basically means that the person who remains on the battlefield, the last man standing, wins the game. You have only one life, you've got low resources, such as ammunition resupply, and also, you're playing in a very heavy weather effects. I got to admit that this one will definitely be quite interesting to see. And that would be all for the Grand Operations. However, before you guys click off the video, and I know you already want to do it since we ended the main part of it, I just want to mention that we, as BFNations, will actually be going to EA Play and we will be playing Grand Operations in only 5 days. So stay tuned for it, and as always, if you enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe to BFNations, and I see you on the battlefield.